Well, we didn't exactly have the seamless rollout I was hoping for South Metro weather, but it got rolled out and rolled right into action as we had severe storms across our area this morning. It's quieted down since then. As you can see, there's some showers to our north, maybe some activity off to the southwest here near Brownwood. For the most part, though, in our area, we're cloudy. We have a lot of moisture around, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a few sprinkles today. There's some signs we could see another round of storms. Some of the models are kind of predicting that, but I don't think it's going to be as intense as what we saw this morning. We saw quite a bit of hail in Johnson County this morning, especially around the Burleson area there. So I don't think we're going to quite see that, but unfortunately tomorrow will be a very different story. Let's take a look at the temperatures today. Daytime highs, we're right in the mid-70s. I think we're right around 75 most of the area. I think as we go further to the north and west, though, we could see some lower temperatures, 74 degrees there. Overnight tonight, we don't cool down much, only about 10 degrees or so, and the humid air and the clouds will help to kind of hold in some of that daytime heating. So going forward, we will not get that much colder. Usually we have about a 15 to 20 degree drop overnight, but we won't drop that much. And that humidity and that warmth will only contribute to tomorrow's storms. You can see all the moisture in the air across the state of Texas here in the water vapor. This is looking at the upper levels. So we still have that southwest flow that we've seen over the last several days, but plentiful moisture, not only moisture from the southwest, but from the Gulf of Mexico as well in the lower levels. It's just going to be a mess around our area tomorrow. This is not as impressive a cold front as it looks. This is merely kind of showing the disturbance that has come through this morning. This is the system we will be watching that will continue to move off to the east. Now, the speed of that system and its placement will be a big determining factor of what we will see tomorrow, and I'll explain that in a moment. But over time, we will be watching this move east, and this is why a lot of you have been asking about timing. When is it going to hit? What are we going to get? It depends on the speed and kind of the placement of this system. Of course, the closer it gets, the better idea we have. But generally, we have to wait until it gets closer to get a better idea of things. So that's why it's, I'm sure, been frustrating for a lot of you, not able to get more specific timing on this. But hey, weather is what it is in Texas, right? It kind of does its own thing. So the closer it gets, later today, overnight, tonight, tomorrow morning, we'll get a much better idea of what to expect. So stay tuned for those updates. Here's what we have right now. As far as the risks, people have been watching this map change, right? We've had this enhanced risk really since yesterday, but this morning, here's that red, here's that moderate risk. A moderate risk is not added that often, so it needs to be taken seriously. You have the marginal risk, that goes from about Cleburne to Whitney, Waco, on east, and that does include most of our area. And then, yes, you do have the moderate risk that goes from about Ferris and Palmer and Corsicana on to the east. Now, does that mean that if you're not in the moderate risk, you don't need to pay attention? Absolutely not. Even the areas in the slight risk need to pay attention. This map may change, and that's what I was talking about with this timing and the placement, that kind of thing, because if the system slows down at all, this will all be pushed westward. On the contrary, if it speeds up, this may push to the east. That will put the system, certain parts of the system, at different places when we hit that daytime heating and things start to activate. So we will have to pay attention to all of those little details. Sometimes it takes just a little bit of a speed up, a little bit of a slowdown to make a big difference. So we will be watching that. And again, that's why you need to be watching for those updates. Well, let's talk about what the NAM model, this is one of the weather models. This is not gospel. This is not saying this is going to happen exactly in that location. This is a general guess by the model based on the information that it has right now. So this is the NAM model. This is right now the best picture we have of what we should expect. 8 a.m. tomorrow, looks like we do have showers and a few thunderstorms in our area. Again, it's plentiful Gulf moisture. We're going to have lift in the area, so I won't be surprised to see some of this stuff. I don't expect severe weather in the morning. Noon tomorrow, looks like we've kind of backed off a lot of that, so cleared some of that out. But this will, again, allow us to clear out and destabilize before that main system comes in. 4 p.m. tomorrow, I do expect that we will start to see development off to our west. This is important. Wherever we see the storms develop will determine everything east of it what they will see. So if this is correct and we do start to see development around Eastland, Breckenridge, Comanche, Brownwood, San Saba, out that area, then that will mean that the storms will have more time to congeal into a straight line like this. This is guessing at 6 p.m. tomorrow. If it has time to congeal into more of a straight line tomorrow, that will mean our area has more of a damaging wind and what we call quadrilineal I can't even talk today. Quadrilineal convective system, or quasi-lineal, that basically just means tornadoes that develop along the leading edge of this storm. And the problem there's some good, there's some bad, but the bad part is they develop very quickly. We've covered those in the time that I've done Ellis County weather. We've covered those multiple times, and sometimes they pop up and they're gone. That can also be a blessing in disguise because they don't tend to last very long. So it can be a positive, it can be a negative. If in fact this, and we'll get to the rest of the timing in a moment, but if in fact the storms start further east, that will mean we have a chance of seeing more individualized supercell thunderstorms, which will mean a better chance of, number one, seeing very large hail and longer lasting tornadoes if they do develop. So it's kind of a mixed bag, and that timing does matter. We'll continue on with this map, and 8 p.m., this model pretty much has us looking at a straight line of storms. Again, it could be a few, kind of a broken line, maybe a few storms ahead of that system. I'll tell you the red is partially accounting for the possibility that you could have individual storms develop ahead of this main line. And sometimes those are the worst storms because it's a storm that's out ahead of the line. It's not competing for any of the instability or the moisture or any of the ingredients that these storms feed on. It's just all by itself out there. This map this model does have most of this moving out of our area by 10 o'clock, but it does look like we'll have some showers and thunderstorms behind it. That's not really uncommon. So don't be surprised if the initial line, the worst part of the storms moves through, and then we have some left over after that. So that is just a guess at where things look right now. I will, of course, be monitoring that. Every model that comes out, we will be hanging on that data, and I will make sure to get that information to you. Probably do maybe a live briefing or at least another video update tonight, and all day tomorrow we'll be watching. I'm sure extra weather balloons will go up, these kind of things, so there will be plenty of updates to provide. So here's the forecast. We had our 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms this morning. Again, we may see another round of storms later today. I don't expect it to be severe like what we saw this morning. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, not terribly windy out there. 75 degrees today, 64, 65 overnight. Tomorrow, we warm up a little bit, but not too terribly much. 77 degrees, I think, is our high, right around there. We will be watching for severe thunderstorms. We could have some showers and storms throughout the day before the main event tomorrow afternoon and evening. But those storms that we do see later in the afternoon, evening hours could very well be severe. South winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour could be a little bit of a windy day. That will just be fueling in more and more of that humidity and that moisture. It's going to be a muggy day tomorrow for sure. After that, though, hey, Friday, sunny. It is a bit windy. So 60 degrees Friday, it's sunny, but it is windy. So probably going to feel more like the 50s with that brisk northwest wind. 40 degrees overnight Friday. Saturday, 67, and then we're warming back up as we get to the weekend, the beginning of next week, rather. 68 degrees Sunday, Monday, 74. And then Tuesday, we have another cold front coming in. And I wrestled a little bit with this forecast because Tuesday's forecast really will be determined by the timing of the front. So if the front comes a little earlier, the temperature will be a little bit lower. If the front comes later, it will be a little higher. So Tuesday's forecast is in flux right now, just depending on the timing of that cold front. But hey, that's all nice weather, but unfortunately we do have to get through the next couple of days, the rest of today and tomorrow, before we really can get anywhere further with the nice weather that is coming up. So make sure that you are following South Metro Weather on Facebook and YouTube. Those are the two main places I would encourage. You can also follow and really find any of those platforms at southmetroweather.com. So make sure you're following for more information. You have a way to receive warnings as well. And stay tuned. I will have more updates throughout the day today, throughout the night tonight, and tomorrow on the coming severe weather event.